Hello and welcome to the weekly Dartcast. I'm Ben the Groper Roper and you're listening to my darting teammate Alex the Spectacle Wonder 131 Moss. 180!
I'm delighted to say I'm joined by the new PDC World Champion and the new PDC World Number 1, Gerwyn Price. How you doing, Gerwyn?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. You alright?
Doing well, thank you. Appreciate your time. And we're talking just over 12 hours since you beat Gary Anderson to win the world title. What was it like waking up as a world champion today?
Yeah, it just feels a bit surreal, really. Woke up this morning and just couldn't really believe what has happened. But yeah, it's going to take a while to sink in, I think.
And at the moment we're living in different restrictions, but did you get to have much of a celebration last night? Did you have anyone with you, or was it just calling family and friends back home?
No, I got back to the room. I'd done a FaceTime to the wife and kids and my dad, and yeah, just put my phone down and just got a good night's sleep then, and straight up this morning, alarm clock set, ready to do some media stuff. So yeah, no celebrating for me, unfortunately.
And I'm sure you'll get it in when you get back, and you're not only the first Welsh PDC world champion and the first Welshman to get to that number 1, but also the first player to come through Q School and do both of those things. Can you quite believe what you've been able to achieve in a relatively short space of time?
No, to be honest with you, I never believed this was possible when I first won my tour card all them years ago. But yeah, crazy achievement, and anything's possible. So hopefully I've inspired a lot of other people as well.
And I remember our first chat that we had, it was a few years ago now. You spoke about how you set up a darts league with your mates on a Friday night just for something to do because you were playing rugby on Saturdays. What was it about the darts that hooked you, or was it just the social side that came with it?
Yeah, well, actually my mate started the team and just asked me if I fancied the game one time, and I just turned up, started playing alright, and realised I was pretty decent, and then obviously went to play some Super League on a Wednesday as well, and sort of progressed from there, really.
And you told me as well about one day you turned up to an Open, you bought a set of darts there for I think around £12 and you won the Open. Can you remember those first tournaments that you entered and that you won? What were the first ones that you won?
Yeah, I think that was a tournament down in Resolven near Nice in Wales, and I turned up. I used to use a dart similar to what Nathan Aspel uses, more of a bomb or a thicker type dart, but I could never hit a double with those. A bit similar like last night, really. But yeah, I went to that tournament, looked at a set of darts, bought them, used them in that tournament, and went on and won. And it's the same dart as what I'm using right now. So thankfully I turned up at that tournament, and thankfully I bought those set of darts. So I think that was about 8 years ago.
Yeah, and you start playing on your Fridays, your local Opens, the Super League. Did you take much interest when darts was on TV? Did you know much about the professional side back then?
Yeah, I always used to watch darts. I used to obviously watch when Phil was in his prime, and I used to think, how do they do it? How can they play so good? And I knew I was never playing darts at that time. I was playing rugby. I used to put the Premier League on a Thursday night. My wife used to hate it, but yeah, I never thought it would be possible. I used to think, what was it like to be playing on that stage, and then one day I'm on there myself.
You said it was Barry Bates who persuaded you to give Q School a go in 2014. What did he say that made you twist your arm and enter?
Yeah, he just kept asking me I was going to local Opens, travelling with him, and I was winning a majority of the Opens, in South Wales, and then I beat him in one or two of them as well along the way, and he was like, come to Q School in January, and I put it off for the 1 year, and then I done well for the next 12 months, then winning a couple more Opens, done well in Super League and the Friday night leagues that I was playing in, and then decided just to go. I didn't have no expectations, just going to go and support Barry and everybody else, really, and then I think I was the only one that actually come through the Q School.
Turned out well for yourself. You've picked up some big titles the last couple of years, and the last few months there's been a lot of talk about the world number 1 spot. Yourself, Michael van Gerwen, Peter Wright, going to Ali Pali. Were you aware of the permutations that you could get that number 1 spot if you won the title?
Yeah, I definitely knew. Yeah, I knew possibly from 2, 3, maybe 4 months ago that it was a possibility, and leading up after I'd won the Grand Prix, when the figures worked out coming into the Worlds, I knew it was possible then, if I was to win, that I'd jump above Peter and jump above Michael as well. So I knew the possibilities.
We know you're a big family man. We've been following your brother Gavin's tweets during the last few weeks, and he said you owe him 2 pairs of slippers because you couldn't stay still watching your games. Will you replace them for him?
I think a couple of boys said they'd been cleaning cleaning the house, cleaning the kitchen about 10 times over just so they can get out of the living room. They couldn't handle watching the darts. But yeah, I think it's harder for people, especially the wife and everyone back home, to watch. It's more nerve-wracking the more it is to get on the stage, I think. Even though it is quite tough up on there, but as you could see when I was missing those doubles after doubles to win the match. Yeah,
you had to do it the hard way. I mean, your first game 3-2 against Jamie Lewis, and then you had the sudden death legs against Brendan Dolan and Darryl Gurney, and that 72 against Brendan Dolan, one darter tops him, sat on 72 as well. That must be one of the best clutch finishes that you've had so far.
Yeah, that one, and I think obviously the last set against Darryl Gurney as well, I think I took out a 107 when he sat on a double to break me first leg. So all those key moments, you know, they're the big moments, they're the ones that change matches, and yeah, I'm thankful that they were going my way in those games, and on different days they could go different ways, but yeah, when I was winning those games and getting through, I knew possibly this could be my year.
We were saying during your semi-final a couple of nights ago now against Stephen Bunting, we're watching two of the best counters in the game, and particularly for you that's impressive because you didn't grow up with the darts like Stephen did. Is that something that you've worked on a lot in your game, trying to leave your favourite doubles as much as you can?
Yeah, I've always been pretty good with maths anyway, but obviously the more you play darts, the more you get to know it's certain routes rather than counting, and you know if you miss one dart you're going somewhere else, but yeah, as long as you can think of all the routes that you're going to leave yourself, and I seem to leave myself routes where I end up either on double 12 or double top, so certain players will go different routes to me, but yeah, I don't think it's all about counting, but it's just knowing the routes that you got to take.
And that semi-final, you come back from 4-3 to win 6-4. The next night, you're in your first world final. What was yesterday like, the whole build-up and getting ready, and a later start as well? Usually 6 o'clock for the evenings, but it was around 7:45, 8 o'clock when you got up on that stage.
Yeah, it was. I prepared just like I did for the semis. I didn't put myself under too much pressure in the day. I felt comfortable all day. Got to the venue, and then I think an hour before the game was starting, that's when the nerves sort of started to kick in. And I sort of showed in the first set of the match. For the second set, I didn't really find my feet. But then once those nerves, the first set and second set nerves had gone, then I started to play some good darts.
Yeah, you certainly did. 4 sets in a row. You had a World Championship record average for a set with that 136, a 120 set average as well to go 5-1 up. But you get to the match darts and you start to slip up. What's going through your head at that point?
Yeah, well, I was just thankful that I'd had such a big lead, because if it was any closer, I don't know if I'd have got over the winning line. But yeah, I certainly knew I was playing well in the middle of the game, and I was playing well towards the end of the game. Just those doubles to win the match sort of deserted me at the end, but you know, that's the pressures that I'd put myself under.
And I think that's one of the big things about set play. The big difference is that you went from, I think, 5 points left to win the world title to 1,500 and 3 points to win the title. How did you compose yourself again, and when that double goes in, what's that feeling like?
Yeah, but I knew I was outscoring Gary really, and I knew I was playing better than him, and I sort of knew I was going to get more opportunities, and I just had to take them. But you know, the sets were going; they were going from underneath my feet, and the closer they got, the more likely was that I was going to lose the match. So I'm thankful Gary missed a couple of doubles in the set, that last set that we played, and he gave me another opportunity. But yeah, I don't know. And if it got closer and closer, would have I won? I'm not too sure.
Lastly, before we let you go, we're into 2021. It's been an unbelievable start for you, winning the world title. Not a lot announced yet for this year. We know we've got the Masters coming up, the Premier League a little bit later on in the year, but what are you really looking forward to for this year? Premier League, getting to the playoffs for the first time, maybe a big run in the match play again. What are you really looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to everything really. I'm looking forward to just having a bit of time off firstly, and then get into the Masters. You know, I never really had a run in the World Match Play, so hopefully that's back in Blackpool and I can have a good run there. And yeah, hopefully I can defend the Grand Prix. I can have a good run in all the TV majors. You know, I might even start to manage my schedule a bit better. Maybe not do so much on the Pro Tours, depending on how things are going. Really, you know, if I'm winning things and I can afford some time off on the rankings, you know, the 1 year older merit, then that's what I'll do. I'll sort of balance my schedule out and spend a bit more time with the family as well. But you need to start playing well and doing things early on to be able to do that as well.
Well, Gerwyn, congratulations again on last night, becoming world champion, becoming world number one, and we wish you all the best for your first year as the world champion.